the Miami Heat are at a huge risk of becoming the first ever NBA team to blow a 3-0 series lead. So today on the board channels, we're going to be previewing that game 6 to let you know exactly what Miami had to do to stop this Boston Celtics team and what has Boston done to be so successful in the last couple of games. Let's get right into it. So we spoke about in yesterday's game preview that the Celtics have about a 30% chance to still win this series. Well, it's a lot higher now. The Boston Celtics have been able to force a game 6 here. One of the very few teams to go down 3-0 and force a game 6. But as we kept saying, this is a different team. Typically, the overwhelming favorite is not the team that goes down 3-0. So this year is a little bit different. But what was it about Boston's game 5 performance that allowed them to be so incredibly dominant right from the opening tip?
A lockdown on defense and moving the ball on offense. There, especially first half, or maybe even I would say first quarter, was where they actually won the game. If you look at the rest of the game, they were almost tied every quarter. If you look quarter by quarter, but they made 15 points lead in the first quarter and kept that for the entire game. The urgency, the willingness, the ball movement. Tatum first quarter was one of the best of the season. He was making every pass needed, some crazy pass also. There was a ton of hockey assists, which is usually a good sign. And his scoring is, I think he had 3 dunks inside in the first quarter, and yeah, they were just fired up. And on the other side, Miami Heat struggled. The defense was great. Tremendous effort to contest every three, to run people off the 3-point line. But they were just slow. Miami Heat was slow. They were getting shot clock violations. They were shooting contested shots with 2, 3, 4 seconds on the shot. They didn't get any good looks. And I was even surprised that they kept going in this game for so long. I expected it after the first quarter, and the way they played, I expected like 30 points blowout in this one.
Yeah. This one, I mean, it did get out of hand already. It seemed like every time Miami made a shot, and their offense wasn't bad for the after the first quarter, as you said, Boston always had an answer. Boston always had the big shot to match it. It came from so many different sources. Of course, Tatum had plenty of big shots in this game. Marcus Smart was huge. Derek White had his coming out performance of the conference finals. Solid night from Jaylen Brown as well. They just always had the answer offensively in this one. But particularly from Miami's offensive standpoint, going into this game 5, you spoke about this needing to be a Jimmy Butler game from Jimmy. Absolutely did not get that from Jimmy. 5 of 10. Look, it's not bad, but only 14 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and a minus 24 night, the worst plus minus in the game. What do you think it was about Boston, the way they played, that they were able to neutralize Jimmy Butler when so few have been able to do that in the playoffs so far?
I don't think they did anything different than usual. It was just poor Jimmy Butler game. One of the signs of this is Horford was getting so many rebounds in this game because they weren't attacking him. I don't know what was the plan, but their success was Jimmy Butler hunting mismatches. Yeah, in this game, Time Lord somehow proved that he can stay in front of Jimmy Butler and do a way better job now than he did in the previous games. So that helps. But they didn't hunt. Jimmy Butler was just not aggressive enough. It will be like second half started, first 6 minutes. I didn't notice Jimmy Butler on the court.
He's quiet.
He was just standing in the corner, and it was all at the Bam Adebayo, and Bam Adebayo started the second half great. But Jimmy Butler, I don't think touched the ball more than once on offense for like 7 minutes to start the second half, and no field goal attempts, no assists, nothing. He was just being there, doing a bunch of nothing. Also on defense, he wasn't that great. Also, Bam Adebayo had a bit not up to his standard defensive game. And yeah, Derek White and Marcus Smart were shooting the lights out. And you look at the after the game finished, they shot 41% from the three. That's not when you look at the game, you will expect more because I don't think I saw like any miss from Derek White and Marcus Smart during the game. When you like just like eye test, then you see Miami Heat shot 39% and Boston shot 41% from the 3-point line. That doesn't look like huge disparity, but Miami Heat made 9 threes, and
Yeah,
Boston Celtic volume in this game it was right where it needs to be, and
yeah.
they got
They
some
made 16. Yeah,
yeah, and they finally got some decent good game from Jalen Brown, first time in this series. Nothing spectacular, but a good game from Jalen Brown, and Tatum was unbelievable.
yeah. Especially early, Tatum was dominant. What also didn't help the Heat in this one? 16 turnovers. There was a point where they were kind of making a comeback. I think it was end of the second quarter. Can't quite remember, but they turned the ball over on 4 straight possessions as they were
Yeah,
just starting to get back in the game.
but most of these turnovers came when shot clock violations or rush decisions with 3 to 4 or 5 seconds left
Yeah,
on the shot clock because they were so slow to get into the action. So it will be like 15 seconds on the shot clock and they didn't start anything yet. They just got over the half court. So yeah, I think also Boston was doing much more half court pressure. They were trying to take the time from them to run things, and it worked. But yeah, I think ball movement was the best in this game. Last game it improved. This game improved even more. And when Boston are moving the ball, and when everyone gets a fair amount of shots, they are the best. So that Derek White making shots, Marcus Smart making shots, everyone getting looks. Grant Williams, Al Horford, everyone was getting their part, and it was not just Tatum with 25 and Jalen Brown with 25 field goal attempts. It was spread out. So this is interesting. So 4 out of 5 starters for Boston Celtics scored between 22 and 24 points. 21, 24, 23, 20, 21. That's when you play like that, when you move the ball, you win.
and this is what we've been saying. This is where Boston are at their best when they're playing isolation, focusing on like just Tatum getting points. That's where they struggle. So credit to them for like obviously they want to do this all the time, but they are now imposing their will as the better team, and they are dictating the way it's being played, which they weren't doing
Yeah,
in the first
huge
two games.
credit. Huge credit to Tatum for not falling in love with ball. 11 assists,
Yeah, yeah,
unbelievable game, creating a lot, driving, getting 2 or 3 players to collapse on him, and then just hitting the right pass entire game. It was a beauty to watch.
yeah. It was a great sign of growth from Jason Tatum to be able to play like that. But let's take a look at what we have for the next game here. Obviously, a massive game 6. Many will feel as though if Miami don't win this, they are not winning game 7. So let's take a look here. As expected, Boston are favored here. -2.5 is available on the spread if you want to get the Boston Celtics. There's some +3s for Miami, but the best one right now at the time of recording is +2.5 at +100 for the Miami Heat. I personally really like Boston to win this game. There's -140s available. Depending where you're located, you get a little bit under that. I think that if you can get -140 or better on the Celtics, that's good enough to take. I myself have them at -136. They're the better team. They are enforcing it right now. Um, it's just as simple as that. They are like they are actually controlling the series at the moment. And like I said, if Miami don't win this game 6, I don't think they can win game 7 at TD Garden. So with that thought in mind, what does Eric Spoelstra have to do to adjust to this game 6 to get Miami over the line in this series?
I hope Gabe Vincent is back for them because he was huge part of them, and also that means playing less. Kyle Lowry was terrible yesterday.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Second thing, Caleb Martin needs to get starter minutes.
I was going
I
to bring
just,
up if Kevin Love will drop out of the starting 5 as well.
but it doesn't make sense to me to play Caleb Martin 32 minutes or 35 minutes when he's your like third best player. Like
Yeah.
play him 45 minutes. That's it. Start him. Play. You don't even need to start him. Like bring him up after 4 minutes in the first quarter and never sit him down again.
Can I tell you what I would do from the start? I would take out Kevin Love. I would honestly, I'd go back to starting Haywood Highsmith if I'm Miami. Just extremely active defensively, a workhorse, just complements the starting five really well. And then once you're settled into the game a little bit more, which he can help you do, then you can give Martin the big minutes off the bench. Then you can start giving Duncan Robinson good minutes off the bench. But I think Kevin Love, I think his time to starting five might be up here, and only playing 14 minutes in the previous game might indicate that. But please continue where you left off.
So Haywood Highsmith played 36 minutes in the last game.
Yeah.
And he was their kind of best player. He made 3 out of 4 threes. That's not going to happen moving forward.
No.
He is not shooting volleyball well. But yeah, with all the shooting around, you can live with Haywood. But Haywood, I don't know. Like I see some lineups where he is very needed. Like when they sit, it's difficult because Bam Adebayo can shoot, Haywood can shoot. So you have two non-shooters, and Boston will just deploy the Time Lord on Haywood and roam around with him out of playing it. It's a like easy way out for the Boston defense when Haywood is on the court. Like it's just easy for Time Lord to be just that guy that helps on everything, and they can gamble with that. That's like playing PJ Tucker, same thing. So I think, no, I don't know. I see minutes for him for sure moving forward. He's such a great guy, but not a lot of minutes with Bam Adebayo. And I just hope Spoelstra will play Bam Adebayo 40 minutes in the next game.
Yeah, I think it will get into desperation mode.
I've desperation mode. Game 7 is tomorrow.
Yes.
For Miami Heat.
And Spoelstra, I've seen Jimmy Butler. Well, the game 5 of the NBA Finals. What did he get 46 or like 47 minutes? Maybe he only sat for like 30 seconds in that game. If you remember, that's the famous with him leaning over like the advertising board, that famous picture in the bubble. You know the game I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He played either in between 46 and 48. So Jimmy Butler can do that. Bam will also have to get 40 here because they crumble when his defense is not present on the floor. Yeah, I mean, I don't like the Celtics. I want Miami to win this series. I'm finding it hard to see a way. Well, I don't find it hard to see a way. I just don't think Miami will have enough to get through in this series at this present moment. Do you think? What do you think? Well, we'll end on this. Do you think Miami have enough to get over the line and still win this series?
Yeah, they have enough, but my pick will be Boston, obviously, especially with them just waking up now, and it's still over 50% by bookies for them to go into the finals. So yeah, I think Boston is better team.
Boston's over 50% to get to the finals now?
Not, but you are getting more than 50. You are getting,
okay.
Yeah. So I see value there because I think they have more than 50% chance. I was the guy that said that 0-3 never coming back was stupid, and 0.0 to 149 was also stupid because I said it so many times on Twitter. I think I'm probably annoying to some people, but that didn't make any sense to me. Not saying I predicted them going back, but I just said it's possible. They're a better team, obviously, and better teams can win 4 straight games. That's the thing. Miami Heat wasn't a better team, and they won 3 straight. Why can't Boston Celtics win 4 then? Right. If we are going to with that logic. But I'll say losing Malcolm Brogdon is kind of big for the Boston Celtics. Yeah, they gained Grant Williams over the last couple of games, but I don't expect Derek White and Smart to have this kind of game every night. And in those spots, you will have tremendous help from Malcolm Brogdon on the bench. So losing him is kind of big, but they lost Gabe Vincent. So in the next game, Miami don't have Gabe Vincent, I think it's a higher blow than losing Malcolm Brogdon. Even though Malcolm Brogdon is a better player, but means Gabe Vincent means more to the Miami Heat than Malcolm Brogdon means for Boston Celtics. So yeah, I think I just can't see Miami winning in 7. So either they win tomorrow or they don't win at all. That's the thing. Going in Boston crowd last night was the best yet this season.
Yeah,
And it gave them some wings for sure.
absolutely.
Especially that first quarter when they started with that crazy run. They made every threes, and it was such a great environment to do it. So
Yeah. So we'll see how they respond. The cliche is role players play better at home. So we'll see if the supporting cast of the Celtics can also rise up to this game 6 in Miami. We're both picking Boston at this point, it looks like, to win this series. Odds wise, they're about, I just looked through it. It's about 44% chance Boston win this.
yeah.
If we get to a game 7, it'll be a lot higher than a 50% chance.
Yeah, but I'll say one thing. Last 2 games, role players did great. Haywood Highsmith, 6 from 9.
It's true.
Martin.
The stars didn't.
Duncan Robinson. Just listen to this stat. 7 from 10, 18 points, and 9 assists. Duncan Robinson, 9 assists.
I don't know where. Yeah, he's been amazing.
Other made like the bench was shooting 65% from the field, and the starters were terrible. So yeah,
yes,
it needs just to be a Jimmy Butler game. Like
yes, if it's not a Jimmy Butler game, Miami are not winning.
Yeah,
so he's got to rise up. We've seen him do it many times in the playoffs. Maybe not yet in this series. So we'll see if he has enough to do it against the Boston Celtics. So that will wrap up our preview for game 6. If there is going to be a game 7, we will have a preview for that one as well. If not, we'll have previews ready for the NBA Finals, no matter who is going to be involved in that next week. So make sure you are following us on whatever platform you're listening. If you're on the audio form, make sure you're following us. Take a minute to rate and review 5 stars. If you are on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Me and Pips will be back very, very soon for some more NBA playoff content.